welcome to the Mogabr show. As always, I'm Gabe. With me, I have a very special guest all the way from Berlin, Germany, Erez. Erez wrote a book about what you really need to know, the true, nuts and bolts it that you don't find on any government websites when you're immigrating someplace, and specifically Berlin, Germany, in this case, where he immigrated to from Israel. So, Erez, how are you doing? Thank you for taking the time.
Sure. Thanks a lot. Great to be here, Gabe. I'm happy to answer the questions and then explain more about the immigration process. Let's start.
Let's get started because this is an interesting, unique take. This isn't like the usual, feel good, lovey dovey story that you hear about when people are writing books about their challenges. There are challenges, but this is really quite unique. And you wrote it from the perspective of, hey, I just came here to this country alone. Walk me through the process. What started you? Like, why did you just all of a sudden decide, hey, I want to write a book. Let me write this book. Let me tell the people what they really need to know.
Yeah, I'll explain. I remember when I grew up, I had this dream about immigrating to another country. And I was a very, very curious child. I always thought about new cultures. I always wanted to experience new things. And from a very young age, I thought about it. It was always in the back of my mind, and I always wanted to know more about how is it to live in a foreign country, and what's it like. I actually had an uncle. Now he lives in the States, but I remember when he used to visit us. I always, I asked him questions, and I wanted to know more about what's his life after he immigrated himself. He immigrated to the States in the 70s, for me it was both challenging and very interesting process. So I grew up, as a child. I was never connected to the Israeli mentality. I felt like I wasn't belong there. I didn't see my future there because during the years the prices went really high, and it was really tough. Even nowadays it's getting even worse. But I always wanted a better future for myself, and also, I was very curious about exploring new destinations. That's why when I grew up, I used to travel more and more into different destinations, and I got to see the world. And then, Gabe, I reached a certain point, and then I decided that I wanted to immigrate. And once I decided that I wanted to immigrate, I started to research about it. I was looking for a specific destination. Since I've been to Europe before, I knew I had a lot of information about Europe. I was more curious about Europe, mainly due to the fact that they have social economic model, which I find very, very interesting, because I didn't want to live in a 100% capitalistic country. So for me, it was very important to have equal rights. It was very important for me to be able to have equal rights, to live a quality life, and and after I've been doing my research, um, I chose eventually Germany, and those are the main reasons I chose Germany over other European countries.
Mhm.
So, number one, the low cost of living and the apartment rent. While, as you may know, other cities, other major cities in the world have a high cost of living, such as London, New York, Berlin. Uh, London, New York has they have very high cost of living. Berlin still considered to be with reasonable costs of apartment renting prices, unlike major cities, and it's also not all industrials. It has lots of parks. In some areas, it's actually forbidden to build skyscrapers, and it was very interesting for me because I didn't want to live in a fully in a industrial place, and therefore I actually visited the city Berlin in 2012, and I really liked it. The second reason is the strong economy and the low crime rate. Germany has the strongest economy in Europe, and it provides very good conditions and benefits, as I mentioned, for its residents and citizens. And also, as I mentioned, it has a social economic model. Now it's getting more capitalistic, I must say, but the country is ranked as a country with a low crime rate, and it feels very safe to walk around the streets of its major cities.
And what
Um,
was, I mean, because okay, so you did your homework, you had your research, you were definitely prepared, so which is more than a lot of people can do or do. What what was your family's reaction when you told them? Because obviously you said you'd been thinking about this since you were younger, since you were a child. So it didn't come as a surprise to them, but were they finally surprised when you finally said, "Hey, I'm doing it. I'm leaving." What was that sort of reaction like from the people back home in Israel?
well, they always knew that I had this dream. They always knew that I always talk about it. I used to talk about it a lot and mention it. I mean, of course, as a kid, they didn't take it very seriously. But as I grew up, I was very determined, and I shared my feelings with them. But they are open-minded people, so I mean,
Yeah,
they didn't, they I mean, of course, parents always usually they want their kids to live in their areas, but they were happy. If I'm happy, they're happy. That's the
of
thing.
course.
That's the most
Yeah, so
important thing.
that's important. Have you been back to Israel since, or like on vacation?
That's the thing. I haven't been there, not yet. I mean, I'm 5 years here. It's not like I didn't have the opportunity, but my parents visit me every 6 months, and
Okay,
every time when I have a vacation time, I travel to a new place, a new destination.
nice.
Therefore, for me, it's not that urgent because I have absolutely zero connection there.
Okay,
I actually, except for my close family, I have nothing basically. And actually, I didn't want. Actually, when I've immigrated, I wanted to be completely disconnected because I wanted the procedure to go as fast as I can. I
hmm,
didn't want any distractions, and I also wanted to be completely devoted to the process.
hmm,
That was really important for me. That's why I when I came here, I tried to avoid Israelis. I didn't want to hang out with them. It was really important for me to fully focus on the immigration process, and I wanted to be completely disconnected.
okay. Interesting. That's that. You know, a lot of people, a lot of expatriates, when they go someplace, they try to find their own people so that they can feel comfortable. But you took the opposite approach. You wanted to fully immerse yourself into that country's culture, and I no, that makes sense. That works actually.
Exactly. And the way I see it, I mean, if you are immigrating to a new country, what's the point of you hanging out with the same people from your native country? I mean, you want
Mhm.
to integrate, you want to see the culture, you want to experience new stuff, you want to hang out with new people, maybe,
Yeah. No, no,
that's
that
the whole
makes sense.
experience of the
It's when you
immigration
left.
and being an expat.
Yeah. Okay. No, very good.
Um,
Very good. What's been the most challenging experience for you immigrating to Germany? Like after you were there, everything, what just you did your research, but what caught you by surprise and like, man, I wasn't expecting this. I wasn't ready for this.
Well, I've done my homework, I must say, but then again, you have unexpected things all the time. I think, as I mentioned, one of the most difficulties that I experienced was the feeling of loneliness.
Hmm.
Especially if you do the immigration process on your own, you have no family. You're just you're all by yourself. But then again, you find ways to overcome that feeling. It's it you'll never be prepared for that. I
Hmm.
mean, for me, it was it. I'm a strong person, mentally, but I still think I still see it as the most difficult part for me,
Okay.
anyway.
Okay. Now, what was the most not difficult, but refreshing part? Like when you came in, again, you did your research, you knew so much going in, but what was something that you were like, oh, this was unexpected and I love it. This was great. Was there anything that stood out?
Well, I think that the fact that the whole vibe, I think that the Berlin's vibe, you got to understand that I come from a very stressful country with a stress situation, a very, very tough political situation. Um, the environment was completely different.
Hmm.
You feel like you feel the European atmosphere. You feel more at ease. It's everything is more at a slow pace.
Hmm.
Nobody is like it's like everybody's doing whatever he wants, and it's like very comfortable, I must say.
Okay.
And and
There's nothing
and
wrong with
yeah,
comfort. There's nothing wrong with being
yeah,
comfortable. So maybe that's
yeah.
what we all strive for
On
in
the
some
contrary, yeah.
capacity. Yeah. So we all want to be comfortable in some way, shape, or form. We all want to be comfortable. So there you go. No, that's excellent. So you wrote this book. Um, when you wrote the book, did when you emigrated to Germany, was the goal were you writing the book throughout, or did it just come like recently that you was like, you know what, I just want to write a book from my experiences because something clicked and like I want to write a book. But so how did the book come about?
I'll explain. So when I went through my immigration process, I at first I didn't. My intention was never to write a book. But then, the experience I've been through was very emotional, and I saw that I gained with time. I gained lots of knowledge regarding the immigration process, the bureaucratic procedures, everything that you need to know. And this is another point, because I started the immigration process from scratch. It's not like I had a European passport or relatives, or I basically started from scratch. And when you do that, you are able to actually to know all the hidden facts of the process.
Mm,
And some of the facts you will not be able to read or know unless you do it yourself.
okay.
And with time, I've gained more and more information, and then I saw immigrants all around me, because Berlin is a very, very international city. You see immigrants everywhere, and I started to help them. They asked questions, I started to help them, and then at some point, it was burning inside me to write the book, because the information was a very valuable information. So I wanted to share it with others. It was like a mission. I had to write a book.
Okay.
So it was unavoidable, basically. And since I think it's also I combine it with all the emotional stuff. I think it's a great source, basically, because it's like you doing the process yourself, and it's like it's the best source. It's the best perspective that you can get.
Nice. Okay. Very, very nice. So, okay, you wrote the book. It's out now. What's next for you? Like, are you gonna go work for the, government and help them refine their immigration policy? Like, what's next for you? Because that's what it seems like you
Well,
could do potentially with this book, helping them like refine
yeah,
some of
yeah,
their
I
points.
know. I'm not sure. I think I will have to write a second part of the book, because I receive information all the time. I Things are changing all the time regarding immigration policies. So I guess at some point I will have to write a second part of the book,
Mhm.
because as you know, you and I were speaking about immigration policies, and then maybe 3-4 months things
Yeah.
may change, and even though due to the whole COVID situation, things have changed dramatically regarding immigration policies. So I'll have to write the second part of the book. um, as for me, I'm not an immigration lawyer. I'm not. I'm just a person who went through an immigration process. Um, but then again, I think I wanted to deliver a message that even though you were born in a certain country, it doesn't mean that you'll have to live there for the rest of your life. The
That is
world
true.
is huge. You have options.
Yeah.
I think freedom of movement is a very, very valuable right, and this is the message that I want to deliver. Um, I mean, of course, people find it sometimes hard to step out of the comfort zone, but I wanted to show that immigration is even though it's challenging, is a challenging process. It's achievable, and people can do it. People have done it, and people can do it.
Yeah. I mean, my parents did it. I wouldn't be here specifically if they hadn't done it before me. Same thing with my wife's parents. And we all, I mean, not all of us, but a lot of us have families, ancestors that come from somewhere else. So, yeah, it's definitely doable, and it's one of the great things because I've definitely have benefited a lot from being born and raised in this country. Benefited more than my parents did being in their country of Dominican Republic. So, yeah, this is absolutely. I completely agree with you 100%. Now, let me take this question a different direction. You wrote this very unique perspective book, specifically around Berlin, Germany. Would you potentially move someplace else and write another book specifically around that place? Like, or is Berlin, Germany your end destination for yourself personally?
Yeah, that's a good question, because when I actually wanted to immigrate, I took it seriously, and I didn't want it to be a serial expat. For me, because it's exhausting. At some point, you can move from one country to another. You gain experiences. It's nice, but I wanted stability. I wanted
Mhm.
just to build a new life elsewhere. to gain stability, and then to stay there forever. This is what I wanted to do. All right. Some people, they have different goals. They like to travel from one country to another. Maybe live 2 years at a certain place, another 3 years in another place, and so on. It's another style, it's another way of life. But I just wanted to immigrate, immigration by all means, basically.
Hmm.
So right now, I'm very good, and actually you learn to appreciate everything that you're going through. You learn to appreciate, and this is another thing. If you move or relocate or immigrate to another country, with time, actually you appreciate the way, the whole the challenges that you've been through, and then you find your stability, and then naturally you don't want to leave. You already gained that stability by hard work, and then you usually, this is what happens. People stay in that
Hmm.
destination.
Yeah.
um, I guess it really depends on your goals eventually. That's why I treated the process as an immigration process from the beginning,
Hmm.
because I've done my traveling. I still like to travel.
Hmm.
I travel a lot, but I just wanted to immigrate and stay in a final destination. That was my goal.
Okay. Very nice. Um, what's you know what do you like to do for fun? This is something that's completely not related to the immigration thing, but now you're in Berlin, Germany. You moved there. You've been there for 5 years. What's been the biggest standout for you? Like, okay, I want to do this. This is fun for me. This is something I could not do in Israel, and I'm doing it here, and I'm having a great time doing it.
Well, I think that the first of all, Berlin is a very, very international city. You meet
Hmm.
people from all over the world. The diversity is amazing. So I always enjoy to meet new people. I always enjoy to go to social gatherings. I always enjoy to speak with both new immigrants and old residents, and
Hmm.
native Germans as well. um, I like to socialize a lot. So
Yeah.
and here, you have a lot of social gatherings. I mean, it's a very lively city. It's never boring. It's never going to be boring here. Um, and This is one thing. The other thing, I think, you have a lot of green areas, so you can cycle, you can jog, you can. I like to do sports. I jog a lot, so for me, it's like, it's a paradise, because you have lots of green path, and lots of parks. You can exercise a lot, and yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. Also, I find, why do I say a high quality of life? Because I don't know if you've been, if you visited Berlin before, but this is one of the cities. One of You'll find it a great transportation. So it's very, very convenient to go from one place to the other very, very fast. You can use the S-Bahn, the U-Bahn, which is considered to be the metro. You have buses, you have trams, you can cycle. Everything is so easy to reach from one point to the other point. It's very, you do it very, very fast, and that's why people usually, when they live here, they don't own their own cars. A lot of people don't have their own cars. You don't need a car if you're here.
Nice.
um, and it's one of, I think I've been to, I think I find Berlin, Singapore, and London. Those cities considered to be cities with a great public transportation, and I like it. I like it a lot. The fact that you don't have to own your own car.
Very nice. Excellent. Well, Erez, I want to thank you for your time. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but this has been really enlightening and insightful. And I think people are going to get a lot from this. And if they haven't picked up your book, please go out and pick up his book. It's really insightful and it's an extremely unique take on the immigration policy. So I think you're going to benefit a lot. Even if you're not just immigrating to Berlin, I think people can sort of at least glean insight into, hey, if it's this much and this involved to immigrate to Berlin, what's it like to immigrate someplace else? Because every place has their little nuances, their little hidden things that you only know if you do, which you did do. Um, so I think this is great insight into, just immigrating anywhere. There's like, hey, I got to do my homework. I need to do my research. I need to have everything sort of checked and double checked. So, Erez, where can people find out more about you, reach you, contact you if they have any questions? Um,
Okay, so I'm available on a platform that called Goodreads, goodreads.com. It's a platform for authors. You can see my profile there, ask me anything. Goodreads.com. It's actually connect between authors and readers. And of course, you can purchase the book on Amazon platform, both the paperback and the Kindle version.
Perfect. Erez, thank you so much. I wish you much continued success and can't wait to see the next book you write. So thank you.
Yeah, yeah, sure, Gabe. Pleasure.